Good morning and a welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses just like yourself. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments of the live feed. If you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage and we'll reveal the results at the end. Also, don't miss out on QuickBooks Connect. 3rd of March, you can attend Intuit QuickBooks virtual event. The virtual event brings entrepreneurs, small business owners, accountants together to grow, learn, and connect with each other. It's certainly one I won't miss. Okay, so who am I? My name is Aaron Patrick, and it's a pleasure to be with you again for the 200th show. I can't believe it's been 200. I'm a chartered accountant, a QuickBooks certified trainer with a fancy new logo, so don't be afraid to ask me any QuickBooks related questions. I own a state-of-the-art online accountancy firm called Boffix, which uses the best in cloud technology available to help small businesses get the crucial real-time information they need at their fingertips. If you require accounting advice, payroll, bookkeeping services, or even QuickBooks online training, then please do get in touch. We don't want small businesses just to survive, but to thrive. I also have a dedicated QuickBooks YouTube channel called Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chap. So if you need any more QuickBooks news and advice, then why not head over there and give the channel a follow. Okay, enough about me and let's focus on today's session. As always, this session is all about you and your burning questions. If you have a question, then please use any of the social channels to get in touch. So while we wait for the first of the questions to arrive, it's the 200th episode. I don't know if you've realized behind what's behind me at the moment, but we're pretty excited about this one. I've been a speaker for the Ask the Expert for over 20 times in the very first pilot episode. The pilot episode was created in record time to get the information that you need. We talked about the new aid that was on offer at the time. So if you remember, the government had suddenly put us into lockdown and suddenly produced all these aid solutions overnight. And it's particularly humorous for me to look back on as I was pronouncing furlough as furlong. So if you ever watch that first video back again, you get to see me making a fool of myself saying furlong at every moment that it was. How wrong was I? Since that pilot episode, should I say, Ask the Expert has been an integral part of my morning routine, as the feedback we get from the questions you ask is invaluable to us as advisors. Furthermore, I've learned so much from watching the other experts from the show, and my business has grown and enhanced because of it. Each expert brings a unique aspect to the show, from an accountant like myself all the way to influencers. Each topic on Ask the Expert offers new lessons to learn and has helped me improve the way I do business. The questions being asked by you gave us business advisors an opportunity to understand the current mindset of small business community. And it truly felt that each morning we get access to the pulse of the nation's current concern and issues. And that's all thanks to you. And Ask the Expert. Ask the Expert has been given a series. Ask the Expert has been a series that has helped small businesses be prepared to fight the fight. But what have I learned more than anything else? Well, to answer that question, I thought it would be good to do a top 5 style show. And in no particular order, let's start at the very beginning. Who can forget my number one? Freddie Hewitt, the small cafe business who pivoted pretty much overnight. Freddie showed us all live that after only a few weeks into the first lockdown, his small cafe went from a typical coffee shop to a community hub for fresh products to be sold door to door. If you remember back then, we were really struggling in the first lockdown to get ourselves shopping slots and everything else that came with it. Well, Freddie's ingenuity was able to make sure that the coffee shop or his coffee shop was able to be a local community for fresh products. He used his contacts to create a hub for the whole community to benefit, all with a broken coffee machine. But I think the most memorable part of the show was that as he was telling us about his pivot, the phone rang live on air. Freddie calmly answered the phone and then he proceeded to take an order while still being live on air. And that really embodies the whole of what Ask the Expert is all about. Most of the experts are in the same boat as you, small business owners having to adapt like you did. And with Freddie able to adapt the way he did, he was being able to show how beneficial it can be. It was such an inspiring and inspirational story, and one I have used to encourage many a client during these difficult times. The stories I learned from Ask the Expert Much like Freddie's pivoting his business so successfully has given me an opportunity to relate and inspire clients during meetings. It keeps me in the loop and on the ball for what clients' issues are currently having. And it gives me a real life scenarios to help me with clients to get back on their feet. So really do take into account these stories because I find them really useful when you're talking to clients going forward. Number two, during the 200 shows, we had some really famous faces. Recently, we had Fern Cotton, we've had the Top, we've had apprentice winners and contestants, we've had influencers like M. Sheldon and Tom Exton, and a personal favourite of mine was the really interesting James Haskell. They brought along with them some amazing stories, and I was especially impressed with how relatable they've been, sharing with us the struggles that they've also been facing, either in business or in personal life. We even had Fern Cotton, who was interrupted live on a show by her daughter, which just goes to show how it can happen to all of us. And each time one of these famous faces comes on the show, we learn a little bit more about them, and we're able to find a little bit more that gives us an opportunity to be more relatable with them, and gives us a chance to be able to go out there and relay those stories and be able to bring it from there. So I really do find that making sure that we listen to those famous faces finds it really, really useful. Number three, Michelle Flynn, mental health techniques. I'll be the first to admit, prior to her show, should I say, I was a little bit quick to judge. I remember saying, I doubt this is going to be for me. But based on the knowledge that I learned so far, I wasn't going to miss a show. So I watched anyway. And her show was all about mental health and well-being. Thinking to myself that I might at least find something relatable in that I could use with other clients, or at least find something that I could relate to for other members of staff or for someone else. But how wrong was I? My eyes was open to just how much strain this last year has been for us all mentally. The awareness and realization that she brought to the show and she made sure that we understood has helped me massively. And the exercises that Michelle provided live during the show are exercises I come back to on a regular basis. She was the perfect tonic and made us all more aware of what was going on. Number four, advice to keep us going. Let's face it, this year has been a huge struggle for many of us and small businesses. But we have been so lucky to have such great advice and great experts right here on Ask the Experts. From the likes of Carl Reader, explaining in detail how the small businesses have had their doors closed, but also they should have been able to take the opportunity to have many doors open as well. To the amazing Merle over at Ferrilio, showing compassion and support for small businesses while launching the hashtag Leave No SME Behind, showing the sense of the UK's small, medium enterprise community. Giving us all hope and support, knowing that we were not alone in this. And there was also always there to answer your questions. We had lots and lots of opportunities for questions to be asked from experts from all around. And being able to use that as a benchmark to be able to answer those same questions myself has been really, really useful. This pushed Merle and myself to a chance to start a new series called the Go Far Fast Show, interviewing key members and business owners. And ask the expert and ask hard-hitting questions that small businesses needed to know. All thanks to the Ask the Expert giving us the skills, know-how, and the push to get it off the ground. To give back with additional content for small businesses just like yourself. And then we're on to number five, fellow accountants. I couldn't be standing here as an accountant myself without giving a shout out to them and how much I've learned from them being on the show. So we had Johan, we've had Arionia, we have Judith, and we've had many more who's been on the show, giving advice each and every week on essential news about how the latest government support packages is suitable for your business during these times, to tips and tricks to make sure your business is being run effectively. We, as accountants, love answering your questions. We love being able to listen to what questions you've got. And it gives us an opportunity to be able to hone our skills to make sure that we're an all-round better business advisor. But a special mention has to be made to Rachel from Accountancy and StriveX on showing us all as accountants how social should be done. Her content is very refreshing and completely breaks the mold of a typical accountant being on social media. I have certainly taken note of this, and because of it, I've completely revamped my social way of doing things and my efforts. With such big things to come in 2021 from myself and Bofix, it's all thanks to the support and advice from Rachel herself. It just goes to show how much benefit we can get from these daily shows and listening in and understanding what these experts bring to the table. Now, I know I said I do a top 5, but actually I have a bonus shout out as well. My bonus number 6 is Nick and Andrea Hills and what I learned from them. Away from Ask the Expert, their content as produced has been brilliant for me personally over the lockdown period. For those who don't know, Nick and Andrea have a fantastic YouTube channel all about the small UK reselling business. They explain all about the process of how their business was started, how it runs, and all the different aspects that they get as they go along. It's a really engaging and interesting piece of content. They started during lockdown a weekly quiz, which I certainly found a much needed relief each and every week. But it was during the Ask the Expert show that they really opened up even further than before, giving us a real background to them and answering so many questions. They've given me so much needed entertainment throughout lockdown, but also the show they have been on the most is what I recommend from Ask the Expert. If I come across someone who hasn't watched Ask the Expert before, I always point them towards the direction of Nick and Andrea's show, plus a few others, but we'll always go back to theirs. We have so many shows to recommend, and that's the beauty, is that there's still so many more to come. And that's why I really, really appreciate Nick and Andrea's time on here, because that's the one that I keep going back to and keep recommending. Overall, I want a massive thank you to each expert who has been on. Ask the Expert has helped many a business improve in so many ways, and especially mine. As you can see, that was just 5 of the things that I've gained out of watching Ask the Expert on a daily basis. It's given me the confidence to start a new YouTube channel, pushed our business to look at social properly, and given us our business a whole new support network, to name a few. So a big thank you to the team behind the scenes who keep the show running of Ask the Expert. You know who you are. I know the experts will all agree that they are absolutely brilliant and the show wouldn't be the same without them. But above all, I want to say a thank you to each one of you who's watched. Each one of you has asked a question. The question have been inspiring, and it's great to see how many of you have benefited from this series. So speaking of questions, let's go to our first question of the day. And our first question of the day is just coming through now. So while the first question of the day comes through, here it is. We've got Miguel from Instagram DM. If I can't afford my tax bill, what options are there for support? That's a great question there, Miguel. So what this is all about here is the fact that what we're going through at the moment is the 31st of January has finally come through. So every one of you out there, every accountant out there who's listening, a big pat on the back, a big well done. We've now got past probably our most trickiest season we've had for a long time. So the 31st of January has been and gone, which means that your tax bill and your tax return has been submitted. Therefore, you will have, or you should have already paid your tax bill by this point. Now, one of the things that we found really useful is HMRC has actually been really beneficial to us in terms of giving us advice on how that tax bill can be paid. What's happened is HMRC has given us a really great insight, or been really open with us, should I say, in terms of how they're going to deal with it. And we've seen this with our clients. We've seen that HMRC has recognized how much of a tricky time this has been at this moment in time. So what HMRC has done is been able to make sure that they've given support to the businesses that need it. What you'll find that now that your tax return's submitted, and if it's not submitted, please make sure you get it submitted. I know we've got that 1 month extension, but if you did have a tax bill due, then ideally you wanted that tax return in by now. But if that tax return is submitted, that gives you the opportunity to talk to him, just like Miguel's got here from Instagram DM. If you have got issues paying that tax bill, then get that tax return submitted first. That means HMRC will know what that tax bill is, and that gives you an opportunity to talk to them as well. When you do talk to them at that point, you'll be able to see that there is an opportunity then to go in and be able to talk exactly about what's going on. So when you get given that opportunity, HMRC will then give you the chance to be able to explain your situation. And we found from our clients that they've given us many an option. Now, that option could be that they're going to ask you to pay in installments. That option could be that they're going to give you an opportunity to pay at a later date and defer it completely. Your particular options and what's available to you is all going to be down to your personal relationship with HMRC. Have you had late payments before? Have you filed your tax returns on time before? Items like that will go in your favor or against you depending on how you've been doing those things. But ultimately, HMRC are there to support as well. So they will talk with you and they will come with you a solution that's going to be beneficial to you as well. The key thing here is, though, is making sure that you don't just completely ignore them. Don't bury your head in the sand. Make sure that you've got that opportunity to talk to HMRC. Make sure that you've filed those returns in on time, talk to them, and then come to an arrangement with them from there. But good luck with that one, and hopefully you'll be able to go through and get that right. Oscar from Facebook Live asks, of all the famous personalities that have appeared on the show, who has been your top favourite and why, and what did you learn? Great question there from Oscar. Me personally, and I'm biased here because I just thought he was brilliant before he even came on Ask the Expert, was James Haskell. The idea that he came along and he was so brutally honest about everything that's going on in front of them. He's able to, even though it was 8:30 in the morning, to bring so much passion and so much thing to the show, gave us such a great insight into what he was like normally, not just in the early hours of the morning. But one of the things that really resonated with me was when he started talking about his business and his new business struggles, and how even though the pandemic had hit his business and how he was still trying to find ways to make sure that it was growing and going with it. And I thought that was really useful bit of information. It was that relatability. It's that idea that even though we as small business owners and you as small business owners are struggling through these times, it's where everyone's struggling. Doesn't matter how many Instagram followers, doesn't matter how much you've got in the bank, it doesn't matter what your background was, doesn't matter who you are, you're struggling or you're having the same struggles as everyone else. And hearing that and listening to that and seeing that he was having to take advice and having to pivot his business model accordingly was just so refreshing. And it just made everyone feel like we're in the same boat, and everyone feel like as long as we fight together and we share each other's exercises and make sure that we're all in the same opportunity and have the same elements going forward, then we were able to be able to weather the same storm that James was able to as well. I thought that was really, really inspiring. So yeah, there's been so many famous faces that have been really, really good, but I really do feel like that was my favorite one that really resonated with me. Thanks for that, Oscar. That was a great question. We got Shawcat from Facebook Live. Congratulations on the 200th episode. I don't know what gave it away. Hopefully you can all see this behind me, but thank you for that, Shawcat. My question is, what was something that you knew you learned from Ask the Expert and you implemented into your daily lives? Great question there. And I will hark back to what I said in my intro, but that whole mental health expert from Michelle was a really, really inspiring way. It was one of those things where, again, I didn't think it was anything that was going to affect me. I was naive. I didn't think that, I just thought, this is for other people and there's no issues whatsoever. But if you go back and watch her show, and I really do urge you all to do that, she goes through and just highlights to you what it is that you should be looking out for, how it affects people, and it should really resonate to you how tough this can be. And taking those skills, taking those elements of being able to go in there and be able to utilize them going forward has been really, really beneficial to me. I use those skills now. I use those exercises as ways to make sure that I am in the right frame of mind, that I am ready to take on a day. And it's really important that, and it's really, especially during these times, especially lockdown 3, ironically, has been even more tough and even more difficult. But using those little exercises each and every day and just having that chance that we were shown on there, even just going back and rewatching that episode can be really, really beneficial. And it's something that I urge people to do and have a look at, because it was, it's exactly what Ask the Expert's all about. Giving that opportunity for people to come at you each and every morning and talk to you about what their expert field is and give you that confidence and give you that chance to be able to see exactly what's out there. So do go back and look at some of them on demand. They're all there. YouTube is the best place to go to. So if you go to www.youtube and go to QuickBooks UK, you'll find that their channel is just full of all of the 200 episodes we've done. And I promise you each and every one of them has a little niblet that you're going to benefit from. So thank you for that, Oscar. Shawcat. The next person was Brendan from Instagram DM asks, as a business owner yourself, what are the changes you have made in the past 1 year? Whew. How long have we got? Unfortunately, and I'm sure you're the same, Brendan, we've had to adapt massively. And not just the Bofix as my business, I have other business opportunities as well. And each one of them has been affected by what we've done. And each one of them have had to adapt and push forward. For Bofix itself, though, the biggest thing that's changed and the biggest way that we've had to adapt is working from home. Even though we were an online centric business, we had cloud technology, from the outside looking in, we look like the perfect sort of business who could just take our office environment, which we used to be in with no working from home at all, to an working from home only business. And you would have thought that being that cloud-based technology and everything else, we would have it all sorted. And yes, from a technology point of view, it was really straightforward. We literally took our computers, put them at home, everything was fine. But it's all those other bits that we had to consider, especially around the training. Training is something that I'm really passionate on, and making sure that our team is trained and making sure that we're putting that right training in and giving our team the best opportunities they can. I really was worried about how we train the team remotely. And most of it we've got absolutely spot on. So most of it we were able to move from basically what it was before and emulate that in a home environment, but we're still looking to improve on there as well. We still want to find ways where we can train our team for those little bits that you used to get and take for granted while in the office. For example, if one of them was taking a phone call and maybe they went a bit off kilter, or maybe they said something that you probably wouldn't want them to say in that particular way, you had the opportunity to give that instant feedback straight away and be able to train them at that point. When we're doing this in a remote environment, we're losing out on there as well. So for me, it's that pivoting of how do we work from home? What the benefits are? How are we going to make sure that this is something that's sustainable going forward? And how can we make sure that we're training people right? So the biggest thing I've kind of learned from this and changed from this is that whole working from home mentality, getting our team to be able to do that. And not just so that we can just do it so we've got it, so we're covered for the COVID pandemic, but something that we can utilize going forward and be able to make sure that if for any reason we've got to go down this route again, or if there's any reason why it's beneficial to one of our team members to be working from home, we want to take the learnings, take everything that we've taken on board here and make sure that we can be as flexible as we can as an employer. So that's what we've taken more than anything else from those questions, Brendan. But great, thank you for that question, Brandon. That was a great question. Derek from Twitter DM asks, hi Aaron, can you help me with some tips for doing a risk assessment for my business? I run a restro bar. Great question there, Derek. And when it comes to risk assessments, I always try and look at it in two different ways. You've obviously got your financial risk, and then you've got your risk to your business ultimately. When it comes to that financial risk, then, I say this a lot, and I'm a big advocate for this a lot, but use the technology around you. Use QuickBooks Online. Use the ability that's built directly into it now where you get a cash flow forecast in the software itself. Put your data into QuickBooks Online. Make sure you're connecting your bank accounts. Make sure all that sort of stuff's all in there and flowing for you beautifully. What that will do then is it will give you the confidence to be able to project the 90 days going forward, and then you can use that to start projecting further from that as well. So when you're looking at risk assessments, have a look at that and make sure from a financial point of view, you're taking things into consideration. And it's never been more useful and more prevalent than during the COVID crisis and how we've been doing through lockdowns and everything else. So make sure that's going forward, going there. When it comes to the other side of the risk assessment, so health and safety and everything like that, I am a true believer in making sure that we have things covered properly. So I'm the sort of person who will make sure that we're signed up to the right bodies, we're signed up to the right external institutes and external people who will be able to give us the right checklist and the right opportunities to look at things properly. St. John's Ambulance, those sort of people, we're very much in the mindset of making sure that we go down those routes, we listen to those experts and we follow their advice accordingly. And that for me has been the best way for me to conduct my risk assessments, by making sure that I've got checklists completed or at least produced by those experts, so I can then go through and make sure I'm not missing anything at all. And it just gives you that sense of making sure that you've got everything in place and gives everything as you go right. So hopefully that works well for you, Derek. Good luck with it all. Adrian from Facebook Messenger asks, hi Aaron, it's nice to hear some highlights from 200 live show. I've asked the expert. I've started a YouTube channel for my freelance artwork. Do you have any beginner tips for people new to YouTube? Great question there, Aidan. And it is something that we've seen quite a lot at. We've seen quite a lot of people using this time to make a new YouTube channel, maybe because they're furloughed, maybe it's because their business needs that online look more than ever. But there's been a lot of people have made that. And also the beauty of it is there's a lot more people watching YouTube content as well. You look at the stats and figures, you just do any YouTube search. If you put into algorithm and start searching for, rise in 2020 and 2021 of YouTube, you'll see the immense amount of uptake that YouTube has had over here. So now is the perfect time to start for anyone who is thinking about it. If you were ever had any inkling of doing it, this is the time to do it. My one bit of advice that I've used that has been made my life so much easier is to just get in front of a camera and talk about it. Because one of the things you'll find, or one of the things you'll notice when it comes to YouTube, is you can spend a long time preparing, and you can spend ages and ages and ages preparing for a video. And later in the YouTube career, you'll find that that's really beneficial because you'll get the right props, and you'll get this, and you'll get that, and you'll make sure all your eggs are in one basket, and you'll make sure they're all lined up perfectly, and you'll produce your best content. But at the very beginning, the most important thing you can do is just talk, or at least get yourself on video. Because the most important thing you'll find then is afterwards in that editing process. You're going to go through and you're going to edit that video together, and you're going to try and make it as wonderful as you can. But I can promise you that first couple of videos you do will probably be the worst videos you'll ever make. But that's not a bad thing, because you're going to learn from them. You're going to see straight away your mannerisms and how you look in front of a camera. You're going to be able to use that as a way to improve yourself and be able to look at the way in which you are presenting yourself. And you're going to make it so that the next video you do, you'll improve, and then you'll improve again and improve again and improve again. And it is a learning exercise. But the only way you're going to be able to get that process of analyzing yourself, editing something out and getting it out there is by doing it in the first place. And a lot of people, I know, because I was one of these, was like, well, I'm not sure I've got the right camera. I'm not sure I've got the right microphone. Is the lighting right? Is this right? None of that really matters. We have enough technology now. We can just use our mobile phone, and that'll be perfectly good enough for what YouTube needs. And you'll be able to get that first video out there, and you'll be able to make the critical adjustments from there. And use that information then to move everything forward, to improve your content, and it will just be a mothball effect. You'll be able to improve your content, you'll get more people watching you on YouTube, and it will just grow and grow and grow. So really, really good luck with that one. Hopefully that's enough, but please do go out there and make sure that you've got yourself included on there. That you start, because the starting is the most important thing. All right, then. So with that, I think that was our last question, unfortunately. And now what we can do now is we can look at the poll results that we were talking about. So we were asking you to engage with us. We were asking you to put in a poll. And the polls we were asked were, have you pivoted your business in the last year? We had 33% of you say yes, with only 67% of you saying no, and that's quite impressive numbers there. Definitely from looking at my client base and all the people that I've been talking to, very, very high percentage of them have pivoted. We've had to see clients having to really be innovative in the way they run their business and be able to look at the way that they've done. Again, even us as an online business, we've had to pivot. We've had to look at new things. We've had to adapt. And I think that a lot of people have done. But those numbers there, that's what the results were. 33% of you are yes, and hopefully you've pivoted and you've been able to benefit from that. But good, congratulations to that 67% of you who haven't as well. So with that, then, it's time for me to do my little wrap up. So first of all I want to do is look back, is just use this opportunity as well and tell everyone to have a look back at all 200 episodes that are already live, because I think you'll find a little bit of tidbit of information from each and one. And here's to the next milestone of this brilliant series. I can't wait for 250 and beyond. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you want to get in contact with me, you can send me a message on hello@bofix.com. Always grateful to hear from you as we go forward. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow, we've got an absolute brilliant one. We've got Paul McKenty, who is the founder of the CEO of MC&T, a creative communication agency. So tune in tomorrow to learn all about how the power of storytelling and to build purposeful relations. I will definitely be listening tomorrow. I can definitely see some benefits of that. The idea of being able to communicate and put your message forward is definitely something that I know everyone can have a little bit of extra insight into. And don't forget to join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. And people like myself will be there 24/7 to help you. And also register for QuickBooks Connect. You can find the link in the comments. Do go out there and get yourself registered for QuickBooks Connect. I know there's got some really exciting things planned. Have a good day, everyone. I can't wait for the next 200th show, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.